Hey guys, what's going on? In this video today, we're going to be going over a Havoc Demon Hunter in the Night Fae Covenant and their defensive abilities. So in the previous video, we just went over quickly, briefly, on a Night Fae Havoc Demon Hunter for Arena. And just, talked about the talents and what to do, what not to do, conduits, just a little bit overview. I'm gonna this video specifically for the person that is either like new to Demon Hunter and they just want to like a quick overview to see what it is they have to look out for. Maybe like a refresher as well, like if you haven't played your Demon Hunter in about a year or so since Battle for Azeroth. But in this one, we're just gonna go over how to play your Night Fae Demon Hunter defensively. So, as many of you guys know by now at this point, if you're watching this video, Havoc Demon Hunters have a really strong offensive toolkit, from hunt to their everything, Unbound Chaos, to the damage modifiers with Isolated Prey, Chaotic Imprint, you name it, they got it. So right now we're just going to be going over, like how to live, which is definitely the weak point for a Demon Hunter. And yeah, here we go. So if you've played we're going to talk about kiting. So if you've ever played, say, a mage or a resto druid, then you're going to know that kiting or running away from your enemies a big part of your survival. I would say that if you've played either of those two classes, right, and you will have an easier time to be able to live as a Demon Hunter, just because, well, our strength is our mobility, and we use that to our advantage, right? So if it's like a warrior, a rep paladin, a monk, something, then of course we can stun them and leap away and do all that cool stuff. So one thing we can go over real quick is Ventral Retreat. Ventral Retreat backflips you away from your enemy, puts a slow on them for 3 seconds, a 70% slow. That's one way to start kiting. You have your two charges of your Fel Rush, and then you also have Soul Shape. So Soul Shape helps you to kite your enemies as well. Soul Shape specifically, you can think of it as like a mage's blink, right? Or shimmer, right? Same thing. And you can use it to teleport away. If you're rooted, like by a druid, a shaman, right? You can use Soul Shape and it'll still blink you in the direction you're facing. It will not break the root, but it'll still move, right? It'll still move your character. So let's say you're on a druid, he happens to get a root off because you didn't have a stun or a kick available, and he just moves a little bit. He just stops for whatever reason to cast like a regrowth. You're able to Soul Shape forward to him and, well, still attack him. It's also good for kiting. Couple things you can do, not too many people know. You can actually nether walk, right? Nether walk, which is essentially your biggest defensive cooldown you have. It's 100% immunity, but inside nether walk, things that people don't necessarily use all the time is, say, like your reverse. You can still reverse when you have nether walk active. You can still use your imprison. You can also use your Soul Shape, actually. So you move at 100% movement speed while you're in Netherwalk, and it'll stack with your Soul Shape. So check it out. So I'm going to Netherwalk, and I'm going to Soul Shape. And you're just going to move like super fast. And your Netherwalk's over, so you lose the 100% movement speed, but you still have the 50% movement speed. So that's something cool. And you can blink, and you can do all that cool stuff while you're Netherwalked. Netherwalk's over, but that's like a last resort thing. you're trying to get away from a warrior, a rep paladin, enhancement shaman, a monk, right? I mean, you're going to be able to outrun them. So you got the Yeezys and they got, well, the lead shoes. So that's about it. What else you got in your toolkit? You got rain from above. This one's situational. I wouldn't necessarily run this if there's a caster on the team. Caster meaning like a warlock, a mage, or like a range, right? Like a hunter. Just because you're open season and they can just hit you, right? After the initial use of it, you're immune, and they can't hit you at the very, very top, but about, I would say, 2-3 seconds into rain from above, they're going to be able to shoot you down and they'll kill you. And if they kill you, you literally just fall flat on your face, and they laugh, and they'll probably put a flag of ownership on you and emote on you. So but it's definitely useful in twos. Say you're versing a warrior and a healer, right? And it's just another defensive tool that you can potentially use. Sometimes I'll play it if I'm playing into a warrior. Warriors hard counter demon hunters. I'll usually play detainment now, just so I can peel the warrior, and you have that extra second of immunity, and it no longer breaks to damage, and they're immune to getting healed while they're imprisoned because of this talent. So I'll usually play that one, and it works out great. You just have to be able to get your kiting down, and you should be able to beat a warrior, like, no problem. What other defensive stuff? We got Dark. That's like our second strongest cooldown. They changed it in 9.1. So before, it was a base 20% chance to avoid all damage, and then you had your Cover of Darkness PvP talent that made it 70%. And they changed it. They reworked Cover of Darkness to increasing the radius of it instead of increasing the percent chance of avoiding damage. And instead, they made Darkness a 50% chance to avoid all damage while in PvP combat. It says 20% right now in the tooltip, but if you're in an arena game or a battleground, it does change to 50%. So 50% in PvP combat, and I'd say that's a pretty good middle ground, because then that opens up one of your 3 talent slots to something else. Because up until patch 9.1, of course we don't have to take any of the talents, right? But if you want to live, right, you're stuck into taking it, and you'd have a 70% chance to avoid all damage. So that's another cooldown. There's a lot of different things. I mean, we got our fell rushes, just a lot of kiting. As Night Fae, specifically, I mean, you have a lot of offensive pressure. Also, if you run Nia, which in my opinion you should, Nia's, I would say, is the strongest one, just because of Grove Invigoration. Because you get the bonus mastery, right, from the stacking, but you also get maximum health increase. So being as squishy as we are, it'll be best if we have more health, right? So when you hunt, you automatically get 12 stacks of Grove Invigoration. And let's say they're all on you, right? I mean, you can kite, you can take a little bit of extra hits because you have the extra health, right? I like to run Battle Master Trinket rather than, say, the haste and stat proc trinket, just because since we're so short on cooldowns, defensive cooldowns, buttons as some people might call them, the Battle Master is just another tool that you can use to be able to live. I mean, it's helped me, and it stacks with Grove Invigoration. So let's say you just hunted, right, and they get you low all of a sudden because the warrior, I don't know, pops Avatar, or you eat a Chaos Bolt, right? You can Battle Master, and of course you have the higher health, and when your healer's healing you, you're gonna get healed to that max, right? And Battle Master lasts 20 seconds, so for those 20 seconds, plus let's say you got 15 seconds left on Grove Invigoration, you'll be able to have that higher health pool, and you'll just be able to take a little bit more damage, right? So every little bit helps. Something you'll notice is a lot of your abilities work in sync really well as a demon hunter, and depending on your legendary, your conduits, and I mean, you really, I would say, utilize like every single bit of your class, right? From conduits to covenant to how you play as the player, and of course your talents. Because I cannot take Netherwalk, I won't have an immunity, but I would play Soul Rending instead, right? And I have extra leech, assuming I can get high uptime on my enemy, and it's not a lot of kiting and running, right? So there's just a lot of different ways that you can go about playing, but the main thing I would strongly emphasize is your mobility and your your easiness to be able to kite compared to another class, right? You can easily kite a Ret Paladin around the room, right? A warrior, even. A warrior has charge and leap, but you can still get away. And after they use those up, and between that, your stuns and imprisons, and if you're playing with a druid and they root, I mean, you're going to have enough time to until your damage comes back, and you'll eventually be able to kill them. So you have a lot of tools in your toolkit. I think that one of the biggest things that any new Demon Hunter has, or someone who's coming back to Demon Hunter after not playing it, say for at least a year, they're gonna die, right? I mean, that's something I struggled with. That's something that I see a lot of Demon Hunters struggle with. Prior to Shadowlands, Demon Hunters had a relatively easier time to survive just due to their more than adequate self-healing, and that was taken away, and the class itself was essentially taken apart, right? I just see the class like as is, in the sense of like a puzzle that hasn't been put together, right? Like for up until like season 4 of Battle for Azeroth, it was essentially an entire puzzle, like put together, nicely framed, and well, the class got taken into a million parts, and you have to figure out how to win. So going from the absolute underdog class, I would say, to one of the top damage dealing classes, you'll still struggle defensively, because there's definitely going to be some games that you're going to have to play defensively, and I think that's where a majority of like new Demon Hunter players are going to fall short and most likely get frustrated. So hopefully this video helped in some extent. I'll be going over more Demon Hunter stuff and more videos. I mean, I'd like to be the go-to guy for like all the Demon Hunter stuff, so I know that the patch just came out, and I have some other videos as well. If you like the video, thumbs up it, share it, subscribe to the channel. I also stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/junkinmyhouse. So go ahead and give me a follow there, say hi, and tell me you saw my Demon Hunter video, and we can go from there, right? I mean, I stream every day, and hopefully I see you guys soon. So I'll be making another video, but for now, if you haven't already, I have a part 1 to this and a bunch of other Demon Hunter videos on my channel. So check those out too, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.